All of this is gonna get taken out in editing, right? So here we go. Cut. Oh my god, this is much harder than I ever thought it would be. Alright, so after 11 years, we're back with the cooking show that nobody ever wanted any more of, but we're gonna do it anyway. And today we're gonna make pho, except that we're gonna make the pressure cooker version of it, which can be done in about 3 hours. Folks know I do have a terrible cookbook out there, and there's a 24-hour version of this, but we are going to go ahead and just do this in about 3 hours in here. And ever once in a while, we will interject with really awful memes. Yeah, here we go. Alright, let's talk ingredients. Here's what we got. We've got an onion, which I have halved and peeled. I've got ginger, a good bunch of it. And what I've done is I haven't peeled it, but I have scrubbed it really well. And then I've kind of cut them into kind of these nice chunks right here. And what we're gonna do is, if you remember in my mom's version of this recipe, we made kind of an overnight infusion of ginger and onions and chicken and beef bones. And what ends up happening if you try to do that in the pressure cooker is it's gonna extract way too much fat from everything. And so we're gonna take advantage of the fact that we're gonna get a really good extraction in the first hour from this thing. And we're gonna bring out the flavor of the onion and the ginger by caramelizing things first and frying it up first. And then, if you remember also, I've got in here, I've got a couple of cinnamon sticks, I've got 6-star anise, I've got about 6 cloves, and I've got about 8 to 10 black peppercorns in here. And usually what we do is we would infuse this at the end, but instead what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it all in here, and then we're gonna let it steep while the pressure releases naturally in the Instant Pot. The other thing is we're gonna not put in beef bones, and we're gonna use a stewing hen. So in this one we're gonna insist on a stewing hen, because in order to get all that flavor out, and it's not gonna overwhelm. If you use chicken thighs, or if you use just like a whole roaster chicken, you're gonna extract too much fat out, and you're gonna have this bubbly thing of fat. And so that was the key in order to make this good. All right, so I've got my Instant Pot, and it's heating up here. I've got it on the saute function. It's been heating up here, so what I'm gonna do is kind of throw in a little bit of oil into my Instant Pot. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna infuse. We're gonna saute. We're gonna fry up the onions and the ginger. Put this in here. So here we go. We're frying up our onion and our ginger here, and we're gonna basically wait until we get a nice sear on those onions. And so right now, as you'll see, if I put my tongs in here, see if I can film this while doing this. Oh my goodness! Ah! So you can see I'm building a little bit of color. So I'm gonna wait, and we're gonna keep doing this. Whoa, this is really hard to do on camera. All right, and we're gonna wait until we get a nice char, a nice kind of golden sear on those onions and on that ginger. And it's gonna take about 5 minutes. So after about a minute, what's gonna happen is you'll see I picked up a little bit of color on this onion here, like that. We want it to go for about 3 more minutes. It's been about 5 minutes now, and here now we can see we've got some nice caramelization going on here. I don't want this to burn, so basically I think this is about as far as we're gonna take it. But got some really nice flavor, really smell the ginger. It's really gonna give the stock that really nice spicy hit. But it's kind of a nice lingering spicy hit. It's gonna be great. So the awesome thing is that's gonna be about all the cooking you're gonna have to do for this recipe. So let's talk about, so I went to a Wujiyamaya and I got this stewing hen. It literally cost, whoa, look at that. Costs like $3, and it's frozen.
Let it go, let it go.
Fine, I'm just gonna throw it in. Just this big frozen bird. That's gonna be okay. And yeah, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this with water. It's gonna be usually about 10 to 12 cups. I wanna basically, I don't wanna overflow my Instant Pot, but I wanna basically put water up to the maximum level that the Instant Pot's gonna take.
An eternity later.
All right, so that was 12 cups of water there, kind of up there. And now we're gonna add everything else. I'm gonna add we're gonna use basil in this afterwards as well as a garnish, but I think a little bit of basil actually is gonna add a lot of flavor into this thing, so I'm just gonna throw in a nice big bunch of basil there. We're also gonna throw in all of our spices there. Remember, that's 2 cinnamon sticks, 6 star anise, about 6 cloves, and about 10 peppercorns. It's gonna go right in there. And then just want to finish it off with a tablespoon of kosher salt and 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. And that's it. That's all the cooking you literally have to do for this thing. It's brilliant. 1, 2, 3. Try not to get this on yourself or you'll stink to high heaven. That would not be good in quarantine. Right. I've got all of my deliciousness in there. I've got my frozen stewing hen. I've got all of that. It smells just wonderful right now. We're just gonna put the cover on and we're going to pressure cook this for an hour. Yep, so we're just gonna pop on this thing, and now I'm gonna cancel the saute function, and all I'm doing is I'm gonna put this up, and we're gonna cook this thing on high pressure for an hour. Turn the keep warm function off, because what we're gonna do is, after this thing is done cooking, we're gonna actually let it release naturally. You're not gonna hit and release pressure manually. We're gonna let the pressure release naturally, and that's really important, because this thing is really full. If you tried to release pressure off from this thing manually, you'd have pho flying all the way across your kitchen. We don't want that, obviously. And then it's gonna do a nice steep kind of during that time as well. Take anywhere between 2, probably even 3 hours if you wanted to go that far, but literally once all the pressure gets released naturally, then we'll start the next step. All right, so I'm just gonna see here. 1 hour, high pressure, keep warm is off, boom. I'll be back in a couple hours. All right, so it's been like 2.5 hours. Instant Pot cooked for an hour, and I let the pressure release naturally. Took about an hour and a half. And so now I can open this thing up, and look at that. It is wonderful, but everything in here, friends, unfortunately, has given its life to the essence of the pho. So now what we're gonna have to do is take everything out, strain the pho, and quite honestly, what you could do is you could wash this pot and put it back into the Instant Pot, but I've got a nice stove in the back, so I'm gonna strain everything else, put it into a pot, and then I'm gonna put it on my gas burner in the back. So we're gonna do that now. So I strained out all of that chicken, all of the attenuated herbs, and it's just wonderful now. It's smelling great. I've got just a nice hit of that ginger. And the longer you can put it into this thing and the longer you can let it steep, obviously the better it's gonna get. But this is a pressure cooker pho, so we wanna eat it. We're hungry, we wanna eat it now. And so there's the stock for the pho. We're gonna put it over here. And now we're gonna make the perfect kind of bowl of pho. And in order to do that, obviously we're gonna need some pho noodles. Where are my pho noodles? Boom, pho noodles. Now, here is the Vietnamese trick. If you were to boil this like you do spaghetti, you would get mush, because there is literally this 5, 10, maybe 20-second window where if you just put it on a pot of water, boiled it, threw this in, you've got about this 10, 20-second window where it's gonna be perfect, and then after that it's gonna be soggy. So we're gonna prevent that, and we're gonna do it the Vietnamese way. So what I've done already is I took about half this package of pho. If you're obviously making this for a whole bunch of people, then use the entire thing. But I put my hot tap water, made my tap water as hot as it could get, and then I just put hot tap water over it, and now I've got waited about 10-15 minutes, and now what we're gonna do is we're just going to boil we're gonna put a pot of water on the boil, and then I'm gonna make single servings of this, literally just plunging this pho that's been sitting in the hot faucet water, and we're just gonna put it in for literally like 2-3 seconds, and then that's gonna be it. That's gonna be perfect pho noodles. All right, my water's here, nice, up at a boil. I've got my prepared pho noodles, which we had soaked in some hot water, and literally now I'm gonna plunge this in into the water literally for just 2 or 3 seconds, and then after 2 or 3 seconds, I'm gonna take it back out, give it a stir, and into the bowl, and that's it. Go into the bowl, literally, give it a shake with my tongs here. Boom, we are done. That is it. Those are now fully cooked. So give it a shake, rattle, roll, and then into my bowl. My God, look at this wonderful camera work. There we go. But yeah, those noodles are fully cooked. I'm gonna taste. They're perfect. If I had tried to boil them like spaghetti, it would not be this way. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this ready. And here's my pho stock over here. I'm gonna bring this to a boil, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some really thinly sliced ground beef, some thinly sliced beef. I recommend buying the pre-cut sukiyaki meat at Ojimaya. We're gonna top this off up here, do a little pepper, in fact, let me come over to our little condiment station here. Condiments, we're gonna do more of that fresh basil, some green onion, have some lime, hoisin sauce, sriracha, and that's gonna be it. All right, so I prepared kind of a pre-bowl here, and the nice thing is you can prepare a whole bunch of these ahead of time for your guests. I just put some of that raw sukiyaki meat over, and again, you can slice your own, but most of the Japanese, most of the Korean markets now will do it for you. You can't get a slice as thin as they can get with their machines, trust me. So I just topped off my pho with some of that really nice thin sliced sukiyaki meat. Got some scallions on top, a little bit of that delicious Thai basil. We're bringing over here, we're gonna bring our pho stock back up to a boil, and we're just gonna we're gonna pour boiling stock over this, and then we're gonna put in some lime and some hoisin sauce and some sriracha, and that's gonna be our pho. All right, the pho stock is at a boil, looks wonderful. I'm just gonna kind of do this here, so get a little bit of fat, but not too much of it, and then literally I'm just gonna pour over onto my, right over, that's gonna cook the meat. So I'm just gonna do that. Just pour right over. Oh my God, that looks delicious. And again, the nice thing is you can prepare a bunch of these things in advance and then bring this thing to a boil. When your guests are ready to eat, just pour over that hot, delicious pho stock that you've made. And friends, this is it. This is a bowl of pho. So that took about 2.5-3 hours. And I'm telling you, this is better. This is gonna be better than anything that you're gonna have at any pho place. You'll notice I didn't use any MSG. I myself, like MSG does weird things to me. And so a little bit of lime. Looking at this thing, I can do a little bit more scallion for myself. You could do some onions as well, if you like that. I've got some, obviously some delicious sriracha here for, that Vietnamese flavor. I really suggest hoisin sauce. It's tradition. It's gonna add a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of sweetness. You don't have to put it in there, but it's gonna make it delicious. So that's it. This is pressure cooker pho. We did this, and again, in about 2.5 hours. Now, is this isomorphic to the 24-hour recipe that my mom and I have developed? Probably not, but I would say almost everywhere it's probably an epsilon greater than 0 from it. It's obviously that you get so much from that 24-hour pho stock. But this thing, 2.5 hours, about 3 hours, you're gonna be able to eat. It's delicious, it's wonderful, and thanks for joining me. Thanks for putting up with the memes, with the poor lighting, with the ums and the clapping. Boom. But this is it. This is pho. I hope you make it. I hope you enjoy it. Happy quarantining.